The Yes Movement. This is something which I've sat here for the past half an hour trying to think of an adequate introduction for, because there's so much I want to say and so much I feel I need to say about this, because it's a very contentious type of conversation. People will watch this video and automatically hit dislike because I'm not fully behind and fully praising the Yes Movement, because I'm not blindsided by the moment that happened at the end of WrestleMania 30, because I'm not fully in love with that moment. I'm going to be, receiving dislikes, I'm going to be receiving hate comments just for that, which I find a little bit, it's a bit short-sighted. But anyway, this video is about the Yes Movement, obviously, as you've seen the title, and why, in my opinion, both WWE and the fans made a mess of it, alright? Mainly WWE, with how they booked the underdog story. WWE's mainly to blame, but the fan reaction and what that caused down the line, with fans hijacking shows, the fans taking the power upon themselves to make a guy pushed, all that kind of stuff, and the real kind of logistics of all of this. For example, I just want to get this out of the way. I find, in hindsight, just purely in hindsight, the fact that a 5'8" Daniel Bryan can single-handedly walk into WrestleMania 30 with a completely messed up shoulder. Bryan can walk into WrestleMania 30 and defeat Triple H, the 6'4" steroid machine Triple H. He can defeat Batista, Dave the Animal Batista, and Randy Orton in the same night with an injured shoulder. I find that incredibly hard to believe. And I get, wrestling is all about a suspension of disbelief. And as I'll go on to talk about in this video, there are so many ways, one way especially, which WWE could have gone about that to do it so much better, to appease all parties, to get the fans who wanted to see Bryan succeed, to get them to have their big moment, but at the same time, not tarnishing and diminishing your whole company and your whole product by doing so. So that's what I'm going to run through in this video. But yeah, I guess I'll just start it off with this. So, SummerSlam 2013, Daniel Bryan beats Cena, Randy Orton cashes in, there's a Triple H heel turn, the Authority is set up, Daniel Bryan is the underdog babyface. All good. They've set the storyline up really well there. Good stuff, WWE. So, from there, we roll into Night of Champions, Battleground, and Hell in a Cell. 3 pay-per-views which were not good at all, but that's not Bryan's fault, obviously. Then we get the main event of each pay-per-view, Daniel Bryan versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. At Night of Champions, it's made very clear that Bryan is better than Randy Orton. Randy Orton can't beat Bryan without BS and shenanigans. In that case, we had Scott Armstrong do a fast count, so we established there that Orton can't beat Bryan regularly. Then at Battleground, one of the worst pay-per-views ever, we get literally Big Show coming out and causing a no contest finish in the main event. So that's 2 pay-per-views where Randy Orton, this 6'4", prototype for a WWE wrestler, superstar, can't beat Daniel Bryan. And then we get Hell in a Cell, where for a 3rd straight pay-per-view, we're established that Randy Orton can't beat Daniel Bryan. It's because Shawn Michaels in that situation did a sweet chin music and Bryan got screwed out of the title. So, for 3 straight pay-per-views, we established that Daniel Bryan is better than Randy Orton, and the only reason he's losing these matches is because of BS. So, we established that. Then, Bryan forgets all about it. He just acts as if the WWE Championship didn't exist, and he acts as though, well, I am better than Randy Orton, I should be champion, but let's just forget about that. I'm going to go fight the Wyatt family for 2 months. So, we get the Bryan and the Wyatt family thing. It was good TV. This is the thing, I'm not saying Bryan and the Wyatt family is bad TV, but I'm saying in the context of a 7-month-long storyline, which gave us Randy Orton versus the Big Show in the main event of Survivor Series, and a storyline that gave us Big Show knocking out Orton and Bryan to main event Battleground, and gave us all of this crap in the heart of 2013. I'm saying that storyline, it's just looked back upon just with too much reverence. People look back upon it just in such a jaded light because they were happy with the ending to Mania 30. So then we get all of this stuff. Daniel Bryan, he has the Wyatt family thing. There's that big moment to end Raw in January where he's doing the yes chant at the top of the cage. Awesome. That was fantastic. I loved it. Then Batista comes back. They do the stuff at the Rumble, which that was just a mess. I can't even defend that. That was booked awfully. The way they brought Batista back was dreadful. The way Bryan wasn't even in the Rumble, dreadful. They made a mess of that. Then we go on, Raws get hijacked week after week after week. There's the Chicago Raw, where the fans just chant CM Punk all night. There's the hijack Raw show, where a bunch of neckbeards got in the ring and were doing the most forced yes chant you'll ever see. We had a bunch of these shows. Daniel Bryan beat Randy Orton clean on a Raw show in March. So we're fully aware that Daniel Bryan is better than Randy Orton. And then we get to WrestleMania. Bryan beats Triple H with a bung shoulder. He beats him. Then Bryan beats Batista and Randy Orton in the same match, following being bashed up by Triple H and Stephanie earlier in the show. So Bryan beats Evolution in one night. He has the amazing moment, which the moment itself was awesome, but they could have gone about this in so many better ways to get there. So here's what I would have done. At Night of Champions 2013, at Battleground 2013, you make it clear that Daniel Bryan is nowhere near the level of Randy Orton. Alright? That's going to be... Some people are going to hate that, but what WWE did in real life made no sense. Why is Daniel Bryan being established as being better than Randy Orton for 3 straight pay-per-views and then forgetting about the title altogether? Why don't you have Randy Orton destroy Bryan 2 straight pay-per-views, and then you have Bryan really go away for a while and work his way back so that he can really confront the authority at WrestleMania, and that it's a big thing when he confronts the authority. And here's the other thing I would do, alright? Here's what I would do. I would have Daniel Bryan win the Royal Rumble, and then Triple H and Stephanie strip Bryan of the Rumble win. They say, we're the authority, you're not main eventing WrestleMania, you're done. So then Bryan challenges Triple H one-on-one at WrestleMania, and then you can have Bryan make Triple H tap out in the middle of the ring at WrestleMania, and that's the big moment there. That's a moment that you can suspend your disbelief a little bit, but it would be an awesome moment. That Bryan and Triple H match was fantastic. Have Bryan win that Triple H match, and have that be the big Bryan moment. You don't need Bryan beating Batista and Randy Orton in that same night. It's ridiculous. And here's what I would have done for a WrestleMania 30 show, which, like, if Bryan beats Triple H and that's it, here's the rest of the card. Listen to this. How's this sound? Batista versus Brock Lesnar for the World Heavyweight Championship, because no chance in hell, in an ideal world, you're unifying the WWE and World Heavyweight Championships. There was no need. That they rushed that for the match of all matches at TLC 2013. Does anyone remember TLC 2013? I barely do. So you can have the World Heavyweight Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Batista. And if you're telling me that won't sell pay-per-views, you're high on something, then I'd have Cesaro versus The Undertaker. This is presuming Cesaro will be built up better. So Cesaro versus The Undertaker. I'd do the White Family versus The Shield at WrestleMania. Not Elimination Chamber, WrestleMania. How amazing would that be? I'd then do, I don't know, how's this? CM Punk versus John Cena for the WWE Championship. I mean, that's never bad for business. And then Randy Orton can win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, or he can do whatever. So that's what WrestleMania 30 could look like, with Bryan having his big moment over Triple H non-title. That's what you can do. And then after WrestleMania 30, you can have the WWE Championship with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan. You can have them main event shows if you want to. It can be just like 2012, only you wouldn't have John Cena versus John Laryngitis main eventing the pay-per-view. You'd have CM Punk and Bryan main eventing the pay-per-view. Then you could have all your legit, credible wrestlers, Batista, Reigns as a heel, Cesaro, Bray Wyatt, all having World Heavyweight Championship matches. See, that's what you could have done. But instead, WWE had it so that we were going to get Bryan versus Sheamus at WrestleMania 30, and then Punk left, and then every show got hijacked for the next 2 months, and then Bryan beat Triple H with a bung shoulder, and then Bryan with an even more bung shoulder beat Batista and Randy Orton in that same night. Yeah. I'm all for suspension of disbelief, but are you serious? Are you for real? It's just stuff like that in hindsight. The moment was amazing, but I feel like the moment if Bryan made Triple H tap out following this big underdog story where Bryan's counted out and Bryan ends up overcoming the authority, and the authority is taken out of power because Bryan makes Triple H tap out, that's going to be just as good. That's going to be just as awesome. You can still have the confetti. Alright, you don't need the 2 championships, because what happened after WrestleMania 30? Bryan got injured, he was fighting Kane, and then we had 2 months of Bryan and Stephanie McMahon cutting promos where Stephanie was like, Daniel, I'm going to have to take the title off you, and then Bryan would stand there with Brie Bella crying, going, no, 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 that was the Yes Movement. That was the payoff to the Yes Movement. And what did the Yes Movement do after that? It empowered the Smarks, it empowered fans who are big supporters of these indie guys to hijack shows, cheer the people who are supposed to be booed. For example, I look at 2015. Let's use this for an example. Kevin Owens and John Cena. You watch Kevin Owens and John Cena matches back. Cena comes out, he's booed out of the building. Owens comes out, he's cheered like he's the messiah of life. Because Kevin Owens wrestled on the indies, and because he wrestled on the indies, and he's now empowered because we saw Bryan get pushed because we wanted it, so now we're going to have to hijack the show and cheer the person who's meant to be booed and ruin the whole show, alienating real fans, making real fans not know who to cheer for and feel so confused that they stop watching altogether. So, these people hijacking shows, and I look at another example. How's this? Maybe, I don't know, a Sami Zayn, a Shinsuke Nakamura. These guys who regular wrestling fans had no clue why they should care, because, I mean, I look at 2016 also, the Cruiserweights. It's this cycle which came in 2015, in the year following the Bryan thing, where because fans felt empowered during the Yes Movement, because they'd hijack shows to make it so that this guy would get pushed, this guy would get pushed. Now you get this just this ecosystem of just toxicity with the fan base, where, oh, we want Finn Balor to be pushed. Oh, who's Finn Balor facing? Is Finn Balor fighting Roman Reigns, Cena, someone who's supposed to be pushed? Boo! Cena sucks. Let's go Balor. Cena sucks. Like, you see what I mean? It's just, the Yes Movement was responsible for a lot of this, and as awesome as people will look back upon that WrestleMania 30 moment as, it was incredibly unrealistic, to a point where it damaged the quality of the product, it damaged many real wrestling fans and their love to see pro wrestling, because in an ideal world, either Batista is a world champion coming out of that show, you have Brock Lesnar as a world champion, you've got, I don't know, anyone as a world champion, but instead, you're going with Daniel Bryan. Okay, so yeah, that's been the video. I'm sure this is going to have several dislikes because, quite frankly, people in 2020, feelings over facts. I get it. If you want to think a 5'8" doughy midget beating the Evolution in one night with a bung shoulder and then getting beaten up again is realistic and a good moment, I get it. Okay, I don't get it, but fine, you be you. I just don't see it. So yeah, like, comment, sub, because I don't drill. See ya.